Assalamu alaikum. Today we will be talking about Salah and we will cover our different prayers that we do, which is called Salah. So our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said that the best of action is Salah. In this chapter, we are going to learn about Salah. So does anybody know what Salah means? Salah means prayers. Yes, so Salah means our 5 daily prayers. So Salah means is a special way of talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Prophet Muhammad had said, anyone who does not give importance to prayers is not from my true believers or followers. Salah is a way of talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has been taught to us by our Prophet. It is a special way of praying, just like wudu is a special way of cleaning ourselves. When we are offering salah, we should think only about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and should pray slowly and clearly. Talking to our friend is not allowed during salah. So does anyone know how many times Muslims should offer salah in one day? Can you think of how many times do we pray? Yes, Muslims should offer prayer 5 times a day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us 5 salah that should be offered at different times of the day. Each salah has a different name. It is important for us to review the names of the different salah and how many rakas each one has. Can anyone name the 5 different salah Muslims offer every day? And know some of you must have already started praying. I know it is wajib for the girls when they turn 9 and boys when they are 14 or 15, but it is a good practice to make sure that you are praying with your parents. And boys and girls, you should pray with your parents and learn how to pray salah with your parents. The Prophet Muhammad said, anyone who does not give importance to prayer is not from my true followers. Whoever does not pray is not from my true followers. How many times do we pray? So we as Muslims pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 5 times a day. We offer our 5 prayers before dawn, afternoon, and after sunset. So there are 3 different times, but there are 5 different prayers that we offer. And Salah is a way of talking to Allah that has been taught by our Holy Prophet, like I said, which is a special way to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there are 17 rakats in the daily prayers. Fajr, that is before sunrise, we have to get up early in the morning before the sun rises and pray 2 rakat. And Zohar time when the noon, this is the noon prayers, this is called Zohar prayers, which has 4 rakat. So what does rakat mean? Rakat is when you are standing up and praying, that's called 1 rakat. And then after you get up from the sajda and you stand up, that becomes a second rakat. Then you go back into sajda and stand up again, that becomes a third rakat. So it's counted the number of times that you are standing up either before sajda or after sajda. So Asr has 4 rakat, Maghrib has 3 rakas, Isha has 4 rakas. So what do you think this number represent when you say Allah's phone number 24434? Can anyone guess what that means? 24434. That has a connection with the rakat. So the 2 is the Fajr prayer, the 4 is the Zohar prayers, again 4 is the Asr prayer, 3 is the Maghrib prayer, 4 is the Asr, Isha prayers. And here's a little activity. You can draw this picture, and when you draw this picture, write down the number of there are 5 different birds in this picture, and each one of the birds write down the number of rakat of the prayer that we have to offer each day. So let's begin and say what are the different actions of our salat mean. So when we start with the first Allahu Akbar. Right after the azan is heard, we do our wuzu, we stand for prayers. This is called Takbiratul Ihram, meaning that we are putting all our worldly things behind. Look at the hand of that man, he's putting his hand up. That means I'm putting all my worldly things behind, and now I am going to talk only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is the first Allahu Akbar is called Takbiratul Ihram. From this point onwards, we cannot talk to anybody, we cannot eat, we cannot laugh, we cannot smile. We have to be talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only by our zikr, which is start our surah niyat and then start our surah al-hamd. And if you notice, he is standing, which this position is called khayam after the first Allahu Akbar, and he has to look down where he is going to do his sajda. He or she, it's the same for both. But the boys have to stand with their feet apart, and the girls stand with feet together. And this is the position of ruku. Look how he is bending. He's putting his hand on top of his knees. So this is ruku when you are bowing down only to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Boys put their hands on top of the knee and the girls put their hands a little above the knee. And the position of your eyes should be looking towards where we do the sajda. Again, then get up right after the ruku, stand up straight, khayam again. Because we shouldn't go directly from ruku to sajda, we have to stand up and then you go to the sajda. So after ruku, you do the khayam, which is the standing up, and then we go into our sajda. Our hands and knees and toes have to touch the ground while we go into sajda. And then you get up from your sajda, with this position is called julus, where you do your zikr and then you go back into doing your sajda. And then you rise up again from the sajda, which completes your one rakat, and then you stand up at this point. So now here, just a difference with the girls is again this position. I put a blank, there's a line over here. So can you guess what this position is? This position is called Takbiratul Ihram, which is the first Allahu Akbar before you this is when you begin your prayers. And this is Khayam. And this is again Ruku. The hands are above the knee, not on the knee, but above the knee. And her feet are together. Girls put their feet together when they pray. And this is the position of the sajda. And julus, where you get up from your sajda and do your zikr, and then go back in doing your sajda while making sure your hands, your elbow, and your toes are touching the ground. Look at the position of the elbow. She's putting her elbow down on the floor when she is doing her sajda. And then julus up back again in the position of julus, and that completes one rakat before doing khayam again for the second rakat. So boys and girls, these are some of the actions that you have to remember, the positions. That way, inshallah, as we go forward, you will learn to do the zikr while you learn with your parents and pray. Your parents should be able to teach you how to do the salah. So pray with them when they pray. Join them in salah, and inshallah, you will get perfect as you pray together. Okay, so the place for salah, this is another point we have to discuss, is called the place for where can we pray salah. So the place where you want to pray must either be yours or you must have the permission of the owner to pray there. For example, if you go to your friend's house, you have to ask that friend for permission to pray over there. If the place does not belong to you, you do not have the permission of the owner to use it, then your salah will be batil or batil, batil or invalid. So you have to make sure you ask permission before you pray. Islam teaches us that we have to respect the things which belong to others and we should not use them without the owner's permission. And especially when the above rule has to be remembered at all times, especially when you want to perform your salah. So always remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to pray in a clean place. It is good to have a special area in your home where you always pray. It is good to always keep that area clean and tahir. Clean and tahir. Of course, if you go to a masjid, you do not need anyone's permission to perform your salah here. Why? Because the masjid is the house of Allah and belongs to Him, and He has given all Muslims permission to pray. So when you go to any other place that belongs to someone else, you have to ask permission. But if it is a public place, you don't need to ask for permission. Like if you are in a garden or if you are um, in a public place which belongs to the public, that like rest area, you can pray over there because it is a public place, not is not owned by an individual. And I hope this was helpful. And inshallah, when we meet again, we will go over these terms more often. That way, you will understand the all the different aspects of salah. So let's take a little quiz. Allah wants us to pray in a big place, clean place, or fun place. What do you think is the answer? Allah wants us to pray in a clean place. Okay. Dash is the house of Allah. Is school the house of Allah? Masjid is the house of Allah? Or museum is the house of Allah? Yes, the masjid is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't need to have permission to perform your salah in the masjid, your friend's house, or the restaurant. Where would you where would you not have to take permission? The place is the masjid. You do not need to have permission to perform your salah in the masjid. When you go to your friend's house, you need a permission, or when you go to a restaurant, you need to ask the owner of the restaurant if you can pray. Okay. So, inshallah, we will end with these wise words. Remember, practice what you know, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will teach you the rest. Believe with your heart, say it with your tongue, and practice with your hands. So, remember, we believe that we have to pray. We say it, we make sure we encourage everybody that Salah is important, and then practice with your hands. That means we practice what we believe, what we say, we practice with our hands. Inshallah, I hope this was useful. And when we meet again, we will discuss more about this lesson. Until then, inshallah, hope you have a good day and we will talk to you soon. Fi amanillah.